Both you and I are always connected to the quiet voice of the higher mind, the quiet voice of Source. But it's easy to forget, right? Because if you're like me, you spend most of the time kind of lost in the chatter of your mind. And the chatter of your mind for most of the day is just a repetition of the same things that the mind chatters about every day, all day long, right? So if you can get yourself in a quiet place, like right now, I'm in an amazing outdoors place outside of city limits. This is a magical little place by a stream. If you can get yourself in a quiet place, and a lot of the times maybe it's just a quiet time in a chair where you get to be meditative and just sit in a quiet meditative or prayerful place. But once you and I can get ourselves into that quiet place, that sweet spot, then we always have full access to the whispering of higher mind, of Source, guiding us gently to our next higher version of ourselves, like what's next. And for me, that quiet little voice sometimes says something like, don't eat bread. I mean, I love bread. A good loaf of bread and butter, that's a great thing, but bread just sits in my stomach, doesn't do anything for me. That quiet little voice sometimes reminds me, hey, let's up the exercise, hike more miles, start lifting weights more, do some abdominal work, whatever it is. That higher mind, that voice, that quiet voice is always reminding me, hey, let's get ourselves back into top shape again. Or sometimes the quiet little voice might again have just a few words, and the guidance might be more difficult, but just as on target and just as important. Like I can remember once breaking up from a relationship, and it was a tough relationship to break up and out of, but it was time to go. And the quiet voice said, do not linger. And that's it. And I can still remember the voice coming to me and saying, do not linger. And that was some tough guidance. That took me a while to actually take the little baby steps to follow that. But that was the right guidance for me. So here I am out by this creek. Sweet little spot. I don't know if you can even see it, but you can probably hear it. Getting quiet. So you get quiet today also and every day and hear what the voice has to say.